The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the individuals participating in the show. All persons described or mentioned in the podcast should be considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This podcast contains subject matter such as violence and graphic descriptions along with adult language, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
How well do you trust your memory? Do you believe everything that you remember? What happens when you truly remember something that never happened? Is it a mistake of the mind? Is it more than that? But what happens when thousands of people remember the same thing you do? Is it simply a collective mistake? Or is there something more to it? You're listening to the Mysterious Brews Podcast, and tonight we're bringing you the concept of the Mandela Effect.
Welcome to a deep, dark, dank, moist basement somewhere in the pollen-filled bowels of Georgia. My two arch nemesis when it comes to pollen is the privets, which my granddaddy called the sweet shrub, and honeysuckles, which when I was a kid, my mama thought it would be a good idea to let me eat the honeysuckles as much as I could get a hold of them, and just did not recognize my little eyes would swell shut.
What the hell? What the hell are the privets?
Hickory bush. When your mama told you to go out there and get you a hickory, that little
You're allergic to hickory?
When they bloom, those white flowers, yes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they smell.
I'm allergic. I'm allergic to every single solitary type of grass.
Oh, well, we did an allergy test with my son because he has crazy allergies. Like when he was a kid, if a dog licked him, he'd have a big old whelp come up where the dog licked him. So he was 16, we finally went ahead and did the allergy test. Of all things, and he's never been around it, but of all things, he is like borderline EpiPen allergic to horses.
Really?
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing, man. It was the weirdest thing. Some of the stuff that he's allergic to, we kind of already knew, but that was the one kicker that I was like, what the heck? So, those of you that are on our Facebook page, our group page, we're getting some good chats going here lately about our cases. And then, the other thing is I posted pictures of the after effects of my wreck. I am going to post a picture of the x-ray they took at the emergency room. I'm no medical doctor and I don't play one on TV, but I can guarantee you when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's broke, dude. And the guy said in the emergency room notes, all spacing and phalanges appear to be normal. I'm like, dude, that one is sitting at a 45-degree angle. That's not normal. So I got me one of them sexy boots, but it's the Reebok version. It's got an air pump on the top of it. I'm sure
you got the Reebok pumps?
I got the pump boot. I'm sure that the pump was an extra $400 on my insurance.
Man, those son of a bitches were so the coolest thing in the history of the world when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, they were.
God, you walk into second grade. Like, hold on, I can't sharpen my pencil. I gotta pump these shoes up.
Man, I remember when they first come out, they were crazy expensive too, and that's before Jordans were crazy expensive. But anyway, all right, that's enough of the oh, no, it is not. I almost forgot the most important part. And that is, we've got some more people giving us some moolah. We do not need to leave them out. The mail room at Mysterious Brews has been out of service with all the confluence of my foot, but I can guarantee you Monday your stickers will be in the mail. I think we've already recognized this young lady, but we're going to recognize her again. Miss Jane Cherry, the Double J, Ann Laura Gordon, all new members this month. Thank you, and thank you.
Well, we also had a 5-star review, my friend.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, from Caleb Covington, 5 stars. Just a fellow North Georgia boy dropping by to give y'all a good review. Definitely appreciate the amazing content that y'all put out every week. Sure does bring me some pleasure hearing some familiar accents while I'm currently residing north of the Mason-Dixon.
We're just doing the Lord's work over here in the basement.
You know, it's funny. I guess there's not a whole lot of podcasts with our accents. I mean, to be honest with you, because that's the one compliment that we consistently get.
Y'all sound like two boys I drink with.
Yeah, like, apparently we're country as hell but I mean, if it works, it works.
Hey,
if that's what draws them in, let it draw them in.
I ain't scared of my accent.
No, hell no. I've embraced that son of a bitch the past couple years.
Yes, I have.
Partly because of this podcast.
Well, I will tell you, I may have told this story before, and if I have, you can stop me, but my wife's uncle thought it would be a good idea to feed me Miller High Lifes at my wife's grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary. And this was many years in the past. I was much younger and I could go toe to toe with the devil back then. But that night, I remember clearly about 2 hours into the evening, I went to my wife and told her, I was like, get your uncle away from me, or I am not responsible for what happens. Well, let's just say that the wedding anniversary was only 3 miles from her grandparents' house. And according to her, I have no recollection of this, but according to her, she had to stop 4 times in those 3 miles to let me pee 3 times and puke once.
That's amazing.
I do remember waking up at like 4 in the morning and quietly, and I never quietly sell Buicks to Ralph in Europe, but I quietly did it that morning because I was so embarrassed to be that bad off. And then we went and all the family regathered the next morning for breakfast at the Holiday Inn at like 15 miles away. And I remember looking at the waitress when we finally got sat down, and I looked down. She goes, what will you want to drink? I said, bring me an entire pot of coffee. And she goes, are you serious? And I was like, as a heart attack, I don't want you to leave. I want you to put it down on a rag and leave me the pot. I don't know what was in that magical Indiana coffee, but it sure did do the trick. By lunch, I was ready to go. But anyway, okay, so speaking of memories, we are finally tackling the Mandela Effect.
Very strange case because
we've kind of flirted with it, like in personal text messages. Man, did you hear this? I don't remember this. And then we finally, well,
I mean, it's affected me. I mean, honestly, this is something I've experienced 100%, and we'll get to that, but it's an extremely strange phenomenon.
I don't know if
it's not true, if it's just simply a phenomenon, it's strange because it's really truly affected me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, the one that we shared that we will share in common, I was like, I know for a fact.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, you will never make me believe otherwise.
I would swear in a court of law.
Yes.
Under penalty of perjury that it's true.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that one. So let's give you the official definition of the Mandela Effect, and this is on simplypsychology.org. The Mandela Effect is a popular and heavily debated type of false memory. It refers to the situation in which many people thought that an event occurred when it did not. And then it goes on to tell about the origin of the Mandela Effect, and it says that it became a social construct when Fiona Broome started a website to observe this phenomenon in more detail. The origin of the term Mandela Effect was coined in 2009 when she went to a conference and began talking to other conference goers about the tragedy of the previous South African president, Nelson Mandela, and his death in a South African prison in the 1980s. However, with further research, President Mandela did not die in the 80s. Instead, he passed away in his home in 2013.
Yeah, that one didn't affect me.
I remember when this was starting to go around about, hey, didn't President Mandela die? Da, 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 da. I was like, the only thing I remember is him being let out of jail.
Yeah, I don't have any recollection of him, quote unquote, dying. I know that he was let out of jail. I know that he campaigned to be president, and he eventually became president, and then of course died peacefully in his home.
So there are, I mean, if you just type in Mandela Effect, you're going to get a ton of examples. Some of them I've never heard of. Some of them I have. Some of the more. This was a big one that I don't remember. Jiffy and Jif peanut butter. I never remember Jiffy.
It's a combination of Skippy.
Right. I remember
There's a
Skippy
peanut butter and there's a Jif peanut butter, and people get confused and they say Jiffy. Not an example.
No.
Next.
I'll give it. Let's go over the ones that I didn't think. Well, I didn't. Well, I guess. Let's go
with the main ones. You know, we covered Nelson Mandela. People believe that he died in prison, but the second most famous one is the Berenstain Bears.
Right. People
think they're the Berenstain Bears, but it's the Berenstain Bears.
The next famous one, is it Looney Tunes, Toons, or Looney Tunes, Tunes?
It's tunes as in like music.
Right.
Not tunes as in cartoons.
Correct. I don't really remember this one as much, but they're saying that the HBO show Sex and the City is the name of it, but people swear it was Sex in the City.
Yeah, never watched any of them too.
Yeah. Then the next one is Oscar Mayer, and there is an A in your famous hot dog, not Meyer, it's Mayer. I was trying to think. I didn't know about this one. Supposedly, there was a painting that Henry VIII was holding a turkey leg.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. And then the next one was, does the Monopoly Man have his monocle?
He never did.
Nope. Pikachu's tail was the next one. People swear he had a black tip on his tail. Nope. It's just plain old yellow. Now, this one, I do remember this one. Kit Kat. They're saying there was never a hyphen. I swear to God, there was a hyphen. When I was a kid, there was a hyphen.
I would never notice. I mean, something like that I would never notice.
Yeah, some of these I didn't ever notice either.
There's certain things about it that, I mean, who the hell would even know?
Right.
You really going to pay attention to the Kit Kat label?
The other one is supposedly Mona Lisa now has a more pronounced smile than she had before. This is one that I had to go back and look at, but it makes sense now that I think about it. C-3PO never had both legs gold. He had a silver one. And the reason, if you'll remember, is when they were taken by the desert, whatever people, they jerked one of them
Jawas?
off. Yes.
The Jawas?
When the Jawa. Sorry, man. I couldn't. It wasn't.
You don't know Star Wars?
Obviously not.
You were like 19 when that came out.
Oh, that hurt. Now, people have lost their minds about this one, and I would swear to you that it happened. Ed McMahon was never in cahoots with Publishers Clearinghouse.
He did American Publishing something or other. I can't even remember.
Yeah. That's what it is. But it was American Family Publishers.
American Family Publishers. That's right. See, all of these things can just be cast away as like just misremembering, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of like the Jaws line where he doesn't say we're going to need a bigger boat. He says, he turns around and looks at him and says, you're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah, and then like the Forrest Gump line. People say that.
Yeah.
He said life is like a box of chocolates when he actually says life was like a box of chocolates. That's just, I mean, that could just be people misquoting it.
Right.
You know?
And they said no, it wasn't that one. What was there was one.
The Luke, I am your father.
Yeah, but is that the one from Cable Guy?
Cable Guy? Luke, I am your father?
Yeah, they said that they're in Cable Guy, he says something, and that's why a lot of people think that it occurred. It may have been Luke, I am your father. But anyway.
From Star Wars?
Empire
Strikes Back?
Yeah,
come on, man.
In Cable Guy, he is making, you know how Jim Carrey does voices. But anyway, one of the ones I didn't know about was in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Wicked Witch, she's not really the Wicked Witch, but the Wicked Queen does not say mirror, mirror on the wall. She says magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah, that's the one my sister didn't believe. She swore up and down. She said mirror, mirror on the wall, but she doesn't.
Now this one I would swear on a stack of Bibles happened. We are the champions. At the very end, I swear to you, he says, of the world.
I mean, I believe you, but not on the studio album. He did that at the Live Aid concert
in Wembley Stadium. Yep. So I wonder if that's what's played more, if that's a cause. Hey guys, Arlo here, and if you are struggling with the old caffeine in the morning, I have got the fix for you. It is called Magic Mind, and it is just a little 2-ounce shot that you drink with your coffee or your energy drinks in the morning. It is chock full of greatness, and it will get you focused, and it really actually has the L-theanine, and that lowers your cortisol hormone, which helps absorb that caffeine that you're intaking. Now, Magic Mind has nootropics, adaptogens, matcha green tea, and 12 magical ingredients. That matcha boosts your energy. The adaptogens help with relaxation, and the nootropics keep you focused. A bonus is that it has vitamins C and D along with the echinacea to help your immunity. So head over to magicmind.co/brews and enter the promo code BREWS20. That is brews20, BREWS20, and that will give you a 20% off coupon for either a one-time purchase or subscription to a monthly dose of Magic Mind. All right, so we have hit you with some examples out there of the Mandela Effect, and now we're going to give you the psychologist's example/cause of the Mandela Effect. They cite priming, false memories, confabulation, personal or emotional bias, and I believe they finish it up with there could be a possibility of an alternative reality or parallel universes, which they say is bunkus.
Yeah, but when thousands of people having a false memory, I mean...
Right, and that's what I was looking at there. It's simplypsychology.org, and they said that false memories are called the Dees-Roediger-McDermott task paradigm. And
oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a good name for it.
They could be associated with a guitar, a piano, an accordion, a harmonica, or a flute. So if you play any of those, you can induce the Dees-Roediger-McDermott task paradigm. However, let's get into what we all think's going on there are a couple of things that are a little bit more meaty on the bone. One is the time wave zero theory. Now, according to an author named Terence McKenna, time is constantly progressing towards a condensed reality. That means that all possible outcomes packed into one singular outcome. Evidence of this type of time glitch has been heavily documented by a wide array of individuals. For Mandela Effect examples, several people have experienced moments where an unaccounted segment of time has interfered with their daily lives or normal routine. Now, the alternate reality paradigm side of it, there is a TikTok video out there that if you just type in hashtag Mandela Effect into TikTok, there's a guy that has a book that says Berenstain Bears on it. He walks into his bedroom and the E changes to an A.
Yeah, I've seen that. He's got other videos where he claimed to have opened a portal.
Yes. That is one of the... Now, if you look on Reddit, they state that he went dark there for a little bit after the Berenstain Bears video. Now, I don't know how true that is, but there you go. Now, another one on the theory of the Mandela Effect is the accelerated rate of time. Several individuals thought the world claimed to feel the rate of time accelerating. Former researcher Ian Zell-Lungold came up with a plausible explanation for this common feeling that time was moving faster than normal. He hypothesized that accelerated time was due to the production and creation happening at a faster pace than ever before. With more events occurring in lesser time, it can create situations where the fast rate of time causes certain individuals to miss specific events in a timeline, which would produce a Mandela effect. Now, there are videos out there that go over the time wave zero theory on YouTube. There is a YouTube video that kind of breaks it down into common people's realm of thinking when it comes to parallel universes or many worlds.
Oh.
Yeah. Physicist Hugh Everett created the many worlds theory in 1957. According to the many worlds theory, all alternate realities exist in their own separate world. This means that a variation of what we are experiencing in this current reality could be happening in an entire different reality. This gives credence to the Mandela Effect theory because individuals being placed in an alternate universe could explain why they have memories that are perceived as false in our current reality. And the reference they give is the man from Taured.
We've mentioned him.
Yes.
That's a good story.
Yes, we have. Then we get into the out-of-place artifacts, and that could be a show on its own. Archaeologists have encountered several artifacts throughout history that seem to be out of place. There have been several instances where an archaeologist can't exactly determine the origins of a particular artifact. For example, in the year 1936, a hammer was found inside a rock that was over 400 million years old.
Yeah, that one's wild, man. Like, that is definitely proof of time travel.
Yes. Because human civilization, they theorize, has only been on Earth for 200,000 years. So how could a man-made object be traced back to a time period before mankind's existence? There's the little, the tiny little watch. I think it was encapsulated in rock as well.
Yeah, that one's weird. Wasn't that one in like a tomb?
Yes.
It was like in somebody's tomb that hadn't been opened for thousands of years, and there's a Swiss watch. Like a tiny one.
Yeah, it's like the size of your pinky finger. Other things are interdimensional travel. In July of 2008, Lorena Garcia awakened with a weird feeling of being out of place. She did not recognize her surroundings, family, friends, or anything else. Moreover, she firmly believes the reason for her unexplained and bizarre experience is that she somehow got caught in an alternative reality. In addition, there have been several other stories by individuals claiming to have awakened in different realities. Again, strong theories and strong evidence to support the Mandela Effect. Again, there is a YouTube video called 5 Real Cases of Interdimensional Travel, and they don't start with number 1, Coach. You'll be proud of them.
Good.
there is the deja vu phenomenon, and that is that we are living through the same situation over again. In most cases, this instance is where people thinking they are reliving a moment in time, which
I have deja vu a lot. It's crazy. It's like what the hell? I've been here before. Like, I assure you haven't.
They call it cryptomnesia, where it is individuals have forgotten memories that return to their brain as new, but that does not explain many forms of the deja vu experience. First, there have been several reported cases of people having memories that can be attributed to alternative versions of themselves from parallel universes. Second, many people have been in a situation where you know exactly what is going on or what is about to happen because you feel you already lived through it. Lastly, some individuals have experienced remembering the history of their lives differently from what it actually is. These are all credible examples, according to a paranormal investigator and blogger, as well as creator of the Mandela Effect, Fiona Broom. Then they get into the dream world. It's not, that one is plausible, but they're saying that if you got into a certain REM state, that you could experience an alternative reality or an alternative universe. Again, they mentioned the man from Taurid example. Michio Kaku, the established physicist, he is a believer in multiple dimensions. He states that string theory hypothesis states that there could be as many as 11 dimensions in our own universe. So there you go. If there's 11 different dimensions, I'm pretty sure there's some Mandela effect going on. Now, the one that Coach loves, CERN. Every time,
I think that's plausible. I think it's plausible that CERN's got something to do with it.
Because every time they fire that fucker up, there's new Mandela effects that pop up everywhere.
They're ripping apart the fabric of space.
That is right. Well, and then you get back into that multi-point thing where everything's converging at a single point. It doesn't matter what dimension or reality you're in, it's all going to come to one single point. They're saying that with CERN, them ripping apart time and space has set us on a path where everything is focusing on one certain point. And then there's the multiverse theory.
I think that's plausible too. And I think that's what's happening is CERN is causing the multiverse to bleed into ours.
They give the multiverse example of the 1928 film called The Circus, where that woman is walking behind the zebra with a saddle on it, clearly looking like she's talking on a cell phone.
Yeah, that's a hearing aid.
True.
They proved that one.
According to quantum mechanics, the whole universe is dictated by probabilities and alternate outcomes. So the mathematical equation backing up this belief indicates that there are several different outcomes of our lives playing out in their own universes.
Yeah, that is weird. Like when you think about the choices you've made, if somewhere there's another universe where you made a different choice and how that would change everything. It's weird to think about. Like a big one's like the college you chose to go to, like all the people you met, all the things you did, that would have never happened if you'd have chosen another college. Think how different your life would be.
Think how different our lives would be if you'd have never said yes to that teaching job.
No doubt. That's what I'm saying.
Now, there is a painting from the 1800s depicting a man named Joseph Smith showing a CD case to several other individuals. The only problem...
A CD case?
Yeah. And I'll post a picture of this one on our social media. I don't know if it's a CD case. It's a box that looks like a clear plastic lid inside the lid. So there's that. Then they get into the celebrity time travel things where like people look similar. The first one is a picture of a man that looks exactly like Nicolas Cage from the year 1870.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. He does look like it.
There's a picture from the 1930s in Brooklyn, New York, who looks exactly like Jay-Z. There's a lot of those videos out there that you can go across. Now, this one says encounters with the past. It said on August 10th, 1901, at the Place of Versailles in France, 2 women reported seeing some historical figures from the French Revolution like Marie Antoinette and a few other people. The only problem is the French Revolution occurred more than a century before the 1900s. This incident is classified as a glitch in the matrix, which characterizes many of the modern-day Mandela Effect cases. Moreover, there have been several other cases just like this of people encountering people that existed more than 100 years ago. There is a lot of those.
Those ladies wrote a book, and they weren't like crackpots. I mean, they were like teachers. Like, they weren't like, you know what I'm saying? They weren't
social influencers out there taking pictures at the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, they weren't the type that you would think would hoax something like that. Like, I don't know what they did or not. I don't know what they experienced, but they're not the types you would think would hoax just to try to make money. That's only thing I'm trying to say.
Correct. Now, there's one called the double slit experiment, and it confirms the fact that things can indeed exist in multiple realities. During the double experiment, electrons are shot through an object that has 2 slits to see how these would affect the wall behind the object. In the end, the experiment resulted in a pattern that looked similar to a wave on the wall instead of 2 marks resembling the slits from the object. After this observation, scientists came to the conclusion that the particles were existing in multiple realities at once. Again, that would prove the Mandela Effect theory is real and possible.
Yeah, that double slit experiment, they also, when they observed the electrons, they did exactly what they thought they would do. But when they didn't observe them, that's when the wave pattern started. It's very weird. Very weird experiment.
Another time slip is what they call the mystery in the desert. After taking a wrong turn while driving in the desert, 4 young women encountered unfamiliar territory. This place contained signs with illegible writing, large buildings, and extremely tall beings that did not look human. While in the process of driving away from this scary environment, they realized 4 egg-shaped vehicles were following behind them. Scared for their lives, the 4 women sped up and ended up right back where they started in the desert. The other incident an example of, I guess this is an example. This would not really be a theory of what's causing the Mandela Effect. They call the bizarre incident of the green children in a village in England as alternate reality / Mandela Effect.
I don't think they came from an alternate reality. I think they came from the civilization inside the earth that they say isn't there. I think they crawled out.
Now, they did say that not long after they were found, the boy developed an illness and died, but the sister grew up to be an adult and was married. So there you go. There's not any more theories out there other than, just those time slips. Another time slip or alternate reality. I have not watched this, but this YouTube documentary states that John Lennon is alive.
Oh, yeah? Him and Elvis?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Elvis might have faked his death. No lie.
This says that in the year 2009, in a place called Livermore in California, a man named James Richards stopped on the side of the road to let his dog pee. The dog ended up chasing down a rabbit, and while he was trying to catch the dog, he fell down and was knocked out cold. When he regained consciousness, he was in the presence of a man that claimed to work for an organization that travels to different dimensions.
Was this the Beatles didn't break up thing? Is it the one where he stole the secret album from the guy?
No, he said they struck up a conversation about the Beatles, and the man from the other dimension revealed that the Beatles were still alive and doing music together. And said, yes, well, he gave him a cassette tape entitled Everyday Chemistry.
Yeah. He stole it. I don't think he gave it to him. He stole it. Yeah, he has a website. It's like the BeatlesNeverBrokeUp.com or something like that. And the Everyday Chemistry is kind of like their solo stuff kind of tinkered with,
Yes.
He claims that that's their album, but yeah, I don't know.
So those are some of the theories about how the Mandela Effect occurs. We have two that we wanted.
Well, I'll just say this. Like, a lot of the Mandela Effect's examples are just bullshit. People just not remembering something correctly. Like the Forrest Gump line, they swear was something different, but maybe they heard it quoted, by a comedian on Saturday Night Live, or they heard it somewhere else, and then it just took off. People were saying it wrong.
Right.
Like the Luke, I am your father. That's not the line.
Correct. The one, I will start it, and then I'll let you give your big one.
Well, let me say this. What you're about to do is, I fully believe the Mandela Effect because it's happened to me twice. When we revealed our two big ones, I know for a fact these things were the way they were.
Now we shared.
I know it.
We shared the one. My other one is I was given a picture through, I think, Superfan Tez sent it through Instagram. But It is the movie called Shazam, where Sinbad the comedian played a genie.
You didn't send me that picture. I haven't seen it.
I shall send it to you. The guy is holding the DVD, and it clearly shows Sinbad's face as the genie, and it has him. And then he's holding in the other hand a VHS tape box that says the same thing, but it's Shaquille O'Neal. The argument is
the Shaquille O'Neal movie was Kazam,
right?
Shazam.
Right. That's the argument against that one.
Yeah, I don't have the memory of Shazam, but I've talked to people who swear up and down they remember the movie, but I don't remember it.
One I saw the other day was the Jumpman, Michael Jordan's emblem.
Yeah.
When it first came out, he was wearing shorts. Now, if you look it up, he's wearing pants.
What?
Yeah.
No way. Pants? Why would he be wearing pants?
I don't know. I'm just telling you. Now, our shared, or do you want to do your other one before we do our shared one?
I'll be damned. He's wearing pants. Why the hell is he wearing pants?
No one knows.
Who plays basketball in pants?
Correct.
Anyway, all right. So let's talk about the two.
Yes, yours that we don't share, and then the one we do share.
Well, first of all, I know for a fact that the Fruit of the Looms logo used to have a cornucopia in it.
Yes.
It did.
Yes. I remember it on the back of my whitey tighties.
Yes. I wore Fruit of the Loom whitey tighties all the way up until I got married, and then I switched to boxer briefs. But I'm telling you,
it had the cornucopia on it.
It did, 100%. I don't know how they've erased that from our collective minds, but no, that 100% is true. And then fucking Bob Barker died.
This is the one we do share. Yes, Bob Barker died.
Bob Barker died within a year of Drew Carey taking over the show. It was like 2008. And I remember distinctly because that's when all the girls came out.
Correct. And said he was a perv.
Yeah, he was sexually harassing them and shit. That fucking happened.
100% it did.
Barker is dead. But then, yeah, I saw earlier this year, it's like, Bob Barker turns 99 today. No, the fuck he didn't. No, the fuck he did not. But apparently he did. Bob Barker, I'm telling you, Bob Barker died.
Right. That was my thing because he died, and that after his death is when the girls started coming out saying that he would, pinch them, make lewd comments, that kind of stuff. And you're right. Yes. It's right after Drew Carey took over. Next, they're going to tell us that the Rockin' Eve, Dick Clark's still alive.
I was about to say, not Dick Clark, but you know who else is still alive that I'd have swore died?
Who?
Freaking Dick Van Dyke.
That was another one that I swore he had passed away, but yeah, he's still alive.
There's no way. There's no way.
We just broke the internet twice with Coach in
Like,
We're going to start videoing these so y'all can see his face as soon as his lazy tail emails himself the new background.
like, I know, seriously. Like, you got to email that to me. I need the new background.
I'll email it to you then.
You send it to my text, and I don't have text on my computer. It's fucked up. Anyway.
Now it's my fault.
Dick Van Dyke, I will give a pass. Okay, maybe I didn't hear about him dying. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. But I know for a fact that Bob Barker died like 2008.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
So how do you explain that?
I can't explain it.
And the reason that I believe in the Mandela Effect now is because you just can't convince me. I know what I know. I know what I remember about Fruit of the Looms. It's so stupid. Like, it doesn't matter. But I know for a fact they had the cornucopia.
Right.
And now they're saying it didn't. And I know for a fact Bob Barker died. And now they're saying he didn't. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I agree with you 100%, but I'm just saying.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying you're wrong.
Well, what's your other one then?
That was it. The Shazam Kazam was my first one.
No, I see. That's weird because that one doesn't. I don't have any recollection of a Shazam Sinbad movie, and I like Sinbad. He's a good actor. Fucking Bob Barker died. He died a long time ago.
100%.
99 years old, what they said.
All right, so let us know what your Mandela effects and how those have impacted your life, the ones that you swear are 100% real. If you agree with us, if you think we're crazy, either way.
You know, I do think, the Berenstain Bears, I do remember them being the Berenstain Bears, but you can just chalk that up to being a kid not reading right.
Right.
Like a lot of these you can just dismiss, but I'm telling you, man, Bob Barker died 100%.
Well, do you have any recommendations for our lovely listeners out there?
I recommend you get on the Facebook and like our private page.
Yes,
Go to groups and type in Mysterious Brews Podcast, all of it, and you'll find us.
I just put a Florida man occurrence that happened in the great state of Arkansas.
That I don't think that's real because my sister sent me that same thing today, and it said it was from my hometown. But so it's like making the rounds I don't know. It's making the rounds though.
Either way, I don't give a shit where it occurred. If it occurred, it's jacked up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Well, I am going to recommend the website mandelaeffect.net, and that has links to a lot of the videos that I talked about today. It also goes into a little bit more depth in some of the theories out there. It gives you 31 events that prove the Mandela effect is real, according to them. There are many, many, many examples, and there are TED Talks about experts that speak on such. So we have those two great recommendations. Well, Coach, you got anything else?
You know I don't.
Deuces.